Hello and welcome back. It's been 3 months since the last video, but the game has already undergone some major changes. I promised you a content drop, and it happened. Several thousand pieces of content are now available in the game, and there's just a portion of what's planned. But let's take things one step at a time. Have I already mentioned that the game will support mods out of the box? Let me introduce you to the toolkit for adding content to the game. It became available to everyone earlier this year, and I personally used it to add all the new content. So mod support on the game's architecture is now an undeniable fact. What exactly is this toolkit? It's a Unity plugin that comes with a control panel for adding content. I've done my best to make it as user-friendly as possible. My goal was to remove all the unnecessary technical barriers, so that even someone unfamiliar with Unity can create their own mod. The toolkit will automatically configure your content project, download the required dependencies, offer helpful guidance, and ensure proper generation and export of your mod. All you need is to install Unity, create a URP project, add the toolkit, and follow its instructions. Right now you can add any kind of structures, buildings, props, environmental assets, as well as weapons, and even create entirely new weapon types. That's not the full range of capabilities yet, but expanding it is just a matter of priorities. Under the hood there's already support for adding characters, animations, effects and icons, but those features still need to be made user-friendly before I hand them over to you. Let's go back to the content I managed to add during this time. Thanks to my Patreon supporters, I was able to buy and use a variety of asset packs. The ones from Cinti turned out to be the most stylistically suitable, though I'm not limited to just them. Let's start with structures. I've added 1,800 different objects in adventure, pirates, vikings, western and western frontier styles. On top of that, there are biome packs for desert, swamp, jungle, enchanted and middle forest. That's already enough to build a rich world with villages, camps and cities. And I also have huge asset packs, each with thousands of objects in medieval, knightly, gothic, elven and dwarven styles, which will make their way into the full game. Moving on. I've added 167 new character types, including humans, elves, dwarves, goblins, skeletons and monsters. That number already sounds impressive, but they're far more than just 167 enemies. Each one comes with 4 color variations and a large list of customizable elements. Equip helmets, change hairstyles, add wings or backpacks. The number of combinations is nearly endless. And of course, they can all equip weapons. Any of the 396 new weapon models I added during this time. I also introduced new weapon types like hammers, scythes, shields and bows, alongside a big expansion of existing swords, daggers, staffs, spears and maces. At this point, I decided to pause content integration to focus on higher priority features for this milestone. Just a quick reminder, the main goal right now is implementing the economy and improving bot AI. So let's talk about the economy. There's a new trading tab in the game design window where you can set global variables. Trade comes in 2 flavors, merchants and marketplaces. Let's start with merchants. You can globally set buy and sell price modifiers, so merchants sell goods at higher prices and buy at lower ones. And it's a good time to create a first merchant. Characters and structures now have a merchant function, with detailed settings which we'll look at now. On the Buy from Merchant group, you can define a list of items that players can purchase here. They will be priced using the item's base price multiplied by the buying modifier. But what if you want merchants in cities to sell goods at higher prices than those in the dangerous wilderness? You can override the buying modifier for that specific merchant, adding an interesting choice for players. buy quickly and safely in the city, or venture out to find better prices. And for a truly dynamic trading experience with trade route planning, you can create special items and completely override their prices. For example, wood might cost much more in the desert than in the dense forest. And special items can also be used to implement currency exchange. Now what about selling? The allow selling option in the sell group lets players sell any item to that merchant. But if you don't want your noble trader to buy just anything, you can create a blacklist of forbidden items. Of course, you can also override the sell price modifier or create special items with high value pricing like water in the desert. That was the fixed economy model, but what about a dynamic one? That's where marketplaces come in. Essentially auctions where players list items and set their own prices. Others then decide whether they're willing to pay that price or they're not. These are the global settings for marketplaces in the game design window. Stock connection determines whether all marketplaces are linked into a single network or operate independently. Faction availability controls whether items can be traded across factions, even enemy ones. You can also set listing and buying fees. Percentage fees are calculated from the item's price and must be paid by both seller and buyer in the same currency. Fixed fees does not depend on the price and can be set in different currency. Bots will factor all these fees into their price decisions. Of course, there's now a marketplace function available to both characters and structures. Simply adding this function allows them to access the market. You can override global settings for variety, and you can also group certain marketplaces together under stock connection, making their inventory available across all linked locations only. In the future, there's also be a real-time window to monitor each auction individually or by group or the entire economy. But that's for later, because now it's time to focus on bot AI. Right after this video, I'll be working on a major upgrade to bot brains. Each bot will become unique with their own skills, interests and traits. For example, you might meet a PvP-obsessed grinder who doesn't care about crafting or economy, or a social newbie who loves grouping up and being helpful. I also want to introduce a fatigue system, so killing monsters for hours will get boring and players will want to switch activities. My goal is to simulate behavior in a way that makes it genuinely interesting to observe, and once I've got something solid, I'll return to share the results with you. Before I wrap up, a few quick things. I've updated the entire Steam description and screenshots, the old ones were from where the game didn't even exist yet. Also, I applied for the Game Development World Championship. I have no idea what to expect, but I'm excited. It's the first time a game will be featured in any kind of event. I'm really hoping it brings more attention to the project, since marketing is tough for me. Despite the game's limited reach, I'm incredibly grateful to everyone who supports me and leaves lovely comments on Discord, Steam or YouTube. You help keep me motivated, and I genuinely feel the interest in what I'm building. I'm still posting weekly changelogs every Sunday on Patreon, where you can follow development for free or support me and get your permanent copy of the game right now. Add my game to your Steam wishlists and subscribe to my channel. I always share something cool. See you soon!